I started working on a film about the history of the Brooklyn Bridge in 1977. I looked about 12 years old. People turned me down for funding, saying that this child was trying to sell them the Brooklyn Bridge, ha ha ha. It was something that I was so invested in. I could begin and give you the entire hour film. It so happens that the work which is likely to be our most durable monument and to convey some knowledge of us
to the most remote posterity is a work of bare utility. Not a shrine, not a fortress, not a palace, but a bridge.
It had always stuck out as this work of sort of urban poetry to me, and the story of its construction was so dramatic that I wanted to practice some ideas I had about how to make old photographs come alive. I didn't want to just hold the old photograph at arm's length like a slideshow, but to get inside. I wanted to be able to add period music and a complicated sound effects track. I had shot most of the film, but I had no money to live. I lived in New York City, and I realized that if I put the footage on top of my refrigerator, I'd wake up 25, 30 years like that ad guy who always was going to write the novel, and I wouldn't have done it because I had to get a real job. So I moved to the wilds of Walpole, New Hampshire, where I thought, because I'd become a documentary filmmaker, I'd taken a vow of anonymity and poverty. The woman who cut the film, who would become my wife, I asked her one day to take out 2 frames somewhere and not tell me. And I was so OCD, so obsessive about this film that when she took out those 2 frames, I knew exactly where it was. When this was accepted for new directors, I went down to New York, and it was like I was in a dream. I remember, as if it was yesterday, this afternoon in April of 1981 when I came out of the subway, and there was a line around the block to see my first film. Everything up to that point had been on a moviola, not even a Steenbeck, a moviola in a loft in New Hampshire, and all of a sudden someone else had said yes. I mean, I had been told for the previous 5 years that no one would watch still photographs or a story of a bridge for more than 5 or 10 minutes. It seemed like a moment later that I was in New York City on a beautiful spring day when anyone in their right mind would have been outside enjoying the first warm day of the year. I was pacing back and forth in the theater, watching the audience react and respond to everything that you'd sort of spent, the last 5 years, your heart and soul. That afternoon at New Directors cemented what it meant to be a filmmaker for me. Tolstoy said that art is the transfer of emotion from one person to another. And when I rounded that corner and went into the theater and saw hundreds of human beings I had never met before who were willing to submit to something that I had done and had, in some way, in their own fashion, each individually and unmeasurably, taken something from what I had done, that was just a rare treat. You realize that this is the springboard, this is the beginning, this is some kind of card, kind of the union card that allows you to go forward. It says, yes, you can, and yes, we all did.